Take two. Okay, let's go. It's the return of Triple C as he takes on the dangerous Song Yadong. We're previewing UFC Fight Night, this time on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast, champion of the world. And speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world and our chief analyst, that is, of course, Brother Gaia.
What's up?
Gaia, it is UFC Fight Night, the return of Triple C. And as always, BG, we start
at the top of the card.
Top of the card, we do see the return of Triple C, 16-4-0 last time out, losing to Merab Devashvili by unanimous decision. Coming up against the dangerous Song Yadong, who is 27-7-1 his last time out. He lost to Piotr Jan by decision. So, BG, both of these guys on the slide. Triple C is, of course, making his return. So does he still have what it takes to compete or to be a contender in this division? How do you see this one playing out, bro?
Very good question. Firstly, I think it's safe to say that he wouldn't be considered competitive if he wasn't in this position to fight against one of the top contenders of the division, right? Which means he obviously has to be competitive. The real question is he competitive enough to go against the guys that are much younger with this new age of MMA? Personally, I think Triple C in this particular matchup is the better fighter. I think he's got the better mold. He's the better wrestler. He's a very good striker. He's got the Muay Thai practice on him as well in terms of his striking ability. So he's a bit of a cleaner striker. But we also know that Triple C has proved you don't have to be the cleanest striker to look fantastic. Song Yadong, I think, has the power advantage. I think he's bigger. I'm not mistaken, he's 5'8", and Triple C is 5'4". So it's quite a significant height advantage. Granted that Triple C fought against everyone that was taller than him, right? But I mean, Song Yadong has proven that he could hang. He fought against Cody Sandhagen. He beat Marlon Chito Vera, who fought for the title. So Song Yadong can hang. He can box very well. He's strong, very powerful, very difficult to put away. Cody Sandhagen said that he's got a lot of durability because Sandhagen pieced him up and he couldn't put him away. So Song Yadong is going to be in there with you until the very end. You can guarantee that. The Triple C is going to obviously have to showcase or bring back a little bit of the old Cejudo, like mixing up the wrestling, Olympic wrestling with the striking. Use that elbows. That's really good. Because I do think that Song Yadong is gonna be a little bit flat-footed. I don't know if he's gonna be dynamic enough to almost scramble with Triple C. You know what I mean? Like reverse the positions and get back on his feet. He's gonna obviously look to sprawl strong enough, keep Triple C on the feet and fight from there because he has advantage with the longer jab, the heavier overhand right. I'm keen to see what Song Yadong is gonna game plan in beating someone that I personally believe is better than him in every avenue of the fight. The real question is, can Triple C go? Can he go the 15 minutes? Because the last two outings he lost to Merab. Merab basically bullied him. That's Merab. And he fought against Aljamain Sterling, and he also lost against Aljamain Sterling, who at the time was also dominating the Banthamweight division. So I think my biggest thing for this fight is, will Triple C be able to have the gas tank to do what he needs to do for the 15 minutes? I do think he will. And will Song Yadong have a very good defensive wrestling ability to keep the fight in boxing range where he does have the advantage? That's where I think he can win. If he can keep it into boxing range, piecing up with the jab, establishing the deep kicks, and just keeping Triple C fighting off the back foot and not letting Triple C dictate the pace of the fight, Song Yadong can take the fight easily over 15 minutes. But I'm going to have to go with Triple C. Even though the out was so long, the man has been putting in the work in his training camps. He has been looking in shape. If you watch his podcast with Mara Usman, he's been putting in the work. You can clearly see he's ready for this fight camp. And I do think the talent of Triple C may just be what carries him over this fight, just because I think he'll be more dynamic than what Song Yadong is. And even that being said, I'm not throwing shade on Song Yadong. Song Yadong is deadly. He's a dangerous fighter to fight against. I think he might come up short here because of the skill set of what Triple C can do. He can take the fight to more different types of dangerous waters where Song Yadong can just knock you out really, and then maybe get you in submission if he has you rocked. You're muted, bro.
So BG going with Triple C there. I do believe that Triple C is starting as the betting underdog, and I know someone who loves that news is going.
Brazil. Yeah,
Jedi Knight,
because yeah,
are you with us, bro?
yeah, I think he can hear
Jedi,
us.
can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah.
Away.
Yeah.
So, who you got for this fight, bro? Who and why? Triple C versus Song Yadong.
I got in this Cejudo, and I think he's going to come in very fired up for this fight. Um, and I think he's going to win it by a mix of things, like a mixed martial arts fight. Lots of pressure. I think he just needs to put the pressure on Oaks and believe in his wrestling and his strength, because the last 2 or 3 fights at Bantamweight was very tough for him.
Mm.
Um, and I think the guys are just a bit too big for him, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Um, this time around, I think he's going to come in quite jacked. Don't be surprised if you see a Henry Cejudo walking in there at like 150. I'm serious, bro. Watch, watch, bro. You're gonna see a Moosey
I
bro
want to
walking
clip
in.
that.
You're gonna see a Moosey bro walking in there. Promise you.
Nice boy. So
Yeah.
I really do
And
like
and
where this is heading.
and I think he's gonna go back to his bread and butter for to secure a win.
Mm.
Mm. So yeah, like
I
I
can
was
believe
saying,
that.
I like where this is going because Triple C is, I think, the 3-1 betting underdog. I'll need to confirm that with the following day, but
Shocking.
that
Yeah.
might be worth looking.
She
Um, but okay, boys. In terms of Henry Cejudo, how does he get it done here for you, BG? Is it going to be a decision, or can you see him getting a finish?
Um, I would love to see him get a finish. I think he can, but Song Yadong is very durable, man. I mean, even Piotr Jan put it on him and couldn't get him out of there and landed like clean shots, some fantastic knees, blooded him up, elbows were all over the place. And Piotr Jan can knock people out. He's one of the hardest punchers in that division to this date. And he couldn't put out Song Yadong. And that's for me, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think Henry will win by decision, like Jed said, but just the overwhelming offensive arsenal, because Henry can do that. He can put on all sorts of offensive on you. If there's a way you can get the job done, it'll have to be, I would say, through maybe a very powerful knee in the clinch, hitting the body, maybe a liver shot. I don't know if you can knock him out by hitting him in the face, because Song Yadong is very durable. So I think he wins the fight. Either if there's a stoppage, maybe a submission, but I'm going to go with decision, just a schooling from Henry Cejudo.
Okay, thanks, BG. Jedi, you mentioned Cejudo going back to his bread and butter. So do you also see him riding this one out and getting a decision, or is there a finish on the cards for him here?
um I wouldn't put it past Henry to knock him out, because Henry's done some crazy things, as we know.
Yeah.
Um but it's most likely gonna be a decision, and I think he's just gonna control Song Yudong, and also not control him the whole time, but it's going to be a mix of things. But it's going to be mainly about pressure.
Hmm. So you see Henry Cejudo having the superiority here in every aspect of the game.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think uh, if he keeps it standing at the kicking range, he might be in trouble. Um,
Yeah.
I think boxing wise, for sure, Henry's a better boxer. Henry was a Golden Gloves boxing champion before he came into the UFC. He can box. Um, so yeah, if he if he goes tit for tat with Sadong, it's not going to work out. He needs to make it a fast, ugly
Mm, yeah.
way. He needs to make it like a Henry Cejudo fight, a guy that's gonna blanket. He's gonna stick to you the whole time, and
Mm.
that's how he used to win most of his fights.
Keep thanks, Jedi Knight. BG, we'll go to final thoughts from you, then keep moving, bro.
Yeah. Again, we're going with myself and Judah saying this because of the caliber of what Henry Cejudo is at, because we've seen the body of work that he has, and also the fights when he came back. Yes, he got bullied by Marab and Aljamain Sterling, but it was competitive. They couldn't tap him out. They couldn't knock him out. So and that just shows you that he can stand. He can hang in there even at the age. I think he's only 36 years old or something like that. He's not even. That's what you know what I mean. It's still a pretty
Yeah,
good show. Um,
yeah, but they also way bigger than him.
they are bigger than him, but I mean, he's never fought anyone same height as him other than Mighty Mouse. Everyone that he's fought in is bigger than him, so that's not unfamiliar territory for Henry Cejudo. He knows how to deal with that. I just think one thing he has to be wary of is like Jed said, when they're fighting on the outside, basically dancing around that midsection, that's where it's going to be interesting for me because that's where Song Yadong is going to be at advantage, both with the reach advantage and the power advantage. There, you will have that. So that's where I'm keen to see what Henry does in that situation.
Give thanks, PG. So the boys here overwhelmingly going with Henry Cejudo,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of inclined to agree. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments your thoughts on who gets the job done here. But okay, boys, we'll keep moving, and we'll go to our next bout here. This is in the middleweight division where Dricus du Plessis is, of course, the champion. And here we see Brennan Allen 24-6. Last time out, lost to Nasruddin Imavov by surprise decision. Anthony Hernandez is 13-2. Last time out, beating Michel Pereira by 5th round TKO. So, Jedi Knight, who and why here, bruh?
I like Hernandez in this fight. I think he's got the goods to be a household name. He's
Yeah.
got the goods to be a star in this division. And yeah, he's on. He's got a lot of momentum behind him now, and I just don't think Brandon Allen is the guy that's going to stop him. I think he's just another name on the way to the top 5.
Big calls, big calls. Do you share that sentiment, BG? Do you think Anthony Hernandez is top 5 material? Beyond, possibly?
I do. Possibly champion when Dricus retires. Yeah, I don't know if he gets a title anytime soon. But I do put him in my opinion, I do put him as one of the top contenders. It's just a matter of time before you see him in that top 3, top 4
Yeah,
situation because
this
he's
dude's got
got
a
that.
lot of skills.
Ooh,
He's
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 caliber, dude.
good.
And Adi, I think you and I did speak about this off camera before we went into the recording that these two guys have fought before outside of the UFC under the LFA banner for the title of that also middleweight, and he's won that fight via decision. I do think he's got the better gas tank. He's riding a 6-fight winning streak. He beat some really top contenders on his way up there. Then Allen, okay, he lost his last fight, but he was also on a 7-fight winning streak before that. Just beating up people before he obviously now this last few fights has been a bit shaky for him. And that's probably why a lot of people are giving Anthony Hernandez, if I'm not mistaken, he's the favorite in this fight. I can see why, but it's almost like we're forgetting what Brendan Allen has done since he came into the UFC. He's gone on a very, very good run before losing to Imavov. Excuse me. They're very similar in terms of their build, in terms of their style. They're very similar, but I do think that Brendan Allen is just slightly below. And I think what it comes down to is Anthony Hernandez is a killer. I've seen Allen
Yeah.
Not Anthony, Brendan Allen sort of sometimes he throws in the towel. You've seen some fights where he just was on his back. He's just like, all right, that's it. I'm done, guys. I can't get the back off my back. And you'll notice when he gets grappled into that position, he kind of just gives up there. Or we start winning on the feet. You kind of see him just slugging away to get through the 15 minutes. And but when he's going, he's very dangerous. He can put anyone out. He's got a lot of finishes. If I'm not mistaken, he's got, let me just read here, 7 wins by sub. Look at the 5 wins by KO. So he's a go-getter. He knows how to finish fights, but that's when he's obviously in the flow state. In this fight here, I think because Anthony Hernandez, where I say he's a level above Brandon Allen, because like I mentioned, he's got that mindset of like almost like
Man is a finisher, bro. He's a
yeah,
killer.
he's like I'm gonna
You can see.
exactly. He's got Rickus's mindset, man. He goes in there just to I'm gonna end the fight. Either I'm gonna get finished or I'm gonna finish you. I'm not going in there to play anything and whatever the fight. I'm gonna go in there to hurt you and beat you up and get that finish. And that's why I think Anthony Fluffy is gonna beat him again. Just because I think he's a lot more aggressive in terms of the wrestling, and because
Yeah.
the best attribute in MMA or in any sports is cardiovascular, bro. If you got the gas tank, you can outperform anybody. I think that's where Anthony Hernandez is better than Allen. He's just got the stamina and the heart and the determination that Allen doesn't have.
He does have a good gas tank from what he's shown in other fights here, for sure. Plus, yeah, I don't know, bro. I just think this guy is on a good run. and it's hard to stop a guy when he's on momentum like this.
Exactly.
And especially to stop a guy that's beaten you before. So yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, a lot of good points there, boys. But yeah, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments your thoughts on this one.
Yeah. This is Mexican.
So yeah, it looks like the parlay show is going to be very interesting tomorrow, boys, because it looks like we basically are in consensus here that we have one underdog in the Cejudo and one favorite on the card, and I really like those picks, to be honest with you. So it's going to be a very interesting show tomorrow. Be sure to keep a lookout for that one, ladies and gentlemen. But okay, boys, BG, you want to give any final thoughts on this one before we move?
Yeah, I think this fight carries quite a bit of weight to it in terms of the reward for the athlete that gets the job done. I definitely think because Brandon Allen not too long ago was higher up than just number 9 in this division, and Anthony Hernandez is literally just 1 or 2 fights away from calling out someone like a Cannonier or Vittori. Vittori's fighting next month, so like it's this fight is in the prime position for climbing up the ranks. You know what I mean? Look, the Cannonier and Vittori. You know what I'm saying? I think if Anthony wins this fight, he can call it one of those 2 fighters, depending on what Vittori does in his next fight. Roman Delitze, I don't even know why he's there. I know it's because he won. He went on a tear at the moment. He's gone on a couple of wins, but I think Anthony Hernandez beats him up pretty easily as well. But yeah, my final thought is that this fight carries good implications for that division.
All right, give thanks. Okay, boys. So unfortunately, it's one of those cards again when there's not really too much to talk about. We do have Romford on the card. He was supposed to be fighting Dominic Cruz. Romford is 21-8-0. Last time out, beating Kyle Phillips by decision. Was supposed to be fighting Dominic Cruz. Unfortunately, blew out both of his shoulders. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, and this eventually led to the man retiring, so it must have been quite serious.
Yeah.
Coming up against undefeated Jean Matsumoto, who is 16-0. Last time beat Brad Katona by unanimous decision. I don't know too much about Mr. Matsumoto here, but I know Jedi, you actually asked to have a bet placed on this guy. So what can you tell us?
Did he?
Yeah, he sent in the group.
Why?
And a catch weight as well.
Yeah.
So what's going on here, Jedi? What's the cheat with this Matsumoto, bro?
I mean, he's undefeated and he's bigger than Rob Font, bro. What else? Plus, Rob Font, he was in the corner of Calvin Keita last week and they lost. So maybe he got affected by that.
Don't you think he's going to want to prove? He's going to have a point to prove now for his gym?
Probably, but against a bigger guy that's undefeated.
Yeah.
DG, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I remember saying off the camera as well that Rob Font's he's probably looking to get that win back for the gym, the New England Cartel boys. So, but the reality is it's a change in opponent. Relatively short notice, not really.
I would have bet the house on Rob Font. Obviously, was one of his shoulders, or one of his knees.
Just like Dillashaw did in his last fight. Banners losing their shoulders. But yeah, but also big ups to Dominic Cruz firstly before I continue this, and that has been my favorite fighter for many, many years. And it's sad to see this happen, but also he's been plagued by injuries, so it's no surprise that this actually happened. For this fight, John Matsumoto, undefeated. He beat his last 2 fights. He beat 2 of the tough house fighters that came out of the second last season, which is quite a big gap for the young man. 26 years old, fantastic jiu-jitsu practitioner, very aggressive on the feet. But the last fight was a bit of a snooze fest against Brad Katona. A lot of unnecessary wrestling off the cage, wet blanket kind of style, made it a bit boring. But I think he's going to be a good prospect if he continues on this path. Maybe get a couple of finishes. You'll get a bit of a bigger fan base. I mean, if he beats Rob Font, the only asterisk on this thing is that it's a catchweight fight, so there's not that much incentive to it, other than taking on someone that's got a bit of a name like Rob Font. Rob Font, I think, is the better boxer. He's got the longer reach. He's slightly taller, about 2 inches. But I don't know if the New England Cartel boys have got the skill set to go further. Just like Calvin Keita, like we were talking about it earlier, AD, just like Calvin Keita, has not expanded or grew within the sport. The sport has has caught up to them. He's not wrestling. Rob Font barely wrestles. We don't really see the man wrestle. And I think Jean Matsumoto I think he's got a black belt, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got a very good wrestling prowess on that avenue. So he can take the fight there if he wants to. Rob Font's got a good jab, good overhand right, but that's all he has really. So yeah, I'm watching on this one. I'm gonna bet John Matsumoto to get the job done in this one as well. How old is
Nicely
Rob Font?
done. I'm not sure what the odds there were. I actually just closed it. But I imagine that Rob Font would start as the underdog here. But the sounds
37
of
years
it,
old. He's
this
37
guy's
years old.
undefeated. Let's check it out here. Rob Font. I don't see that. I think they probably took that fight off the card because it was short notice and catchweight. So yeah, I don't see that fight available for betting. But yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. Any other fights that you guys are hyped for here?
I'm not sure if Jed's got any names. I've only got one name really. Only because the hype is mad real about him. The rest of the card is pretty flat to me, to be honest. No one really to talk about other than maybe give a small shout out to Andre Fili for an old school name. Maybe give a shout out to Ricky Simone as well. As another old school name. But the fight I'm most interested to watch is the fight. That man's probably gonna get knocked out. If we go to the main card, the fight just before Rob Fonts, we got another Jean Silva. Can't pronounce the fighter. He's taking on a Malsik Bagdan Sarian. Not familiar with who he is, but I know Jean Silva. Albanabo. John Silva's fighting out of the Fighting Nerds camp, and he's been on a tear. 3 fights in the UFC, three KOs, back to back. Just knocking out Drew Dober in the last one. He's got the stuff. This guy, 5.3 significant strikes per minute. Loves to stand up. Wild fighter in the octagon. So yeah, I'm very very excited to see more of John Silva. I don't know much about him because he's fairly new to the UFC, and I think it's safe to say that the Fighting Nerds are producing some fantastic fighters. Rufy was another one of them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to John Silva.
Yeah, John Silva starting as the second biggest favorite on the card.
Yo.
Like a very likely result there. Yeah, boys. Anything else? Yeah, again.
Underwhelming card, to be honest.
Underwhelming card.
I don't say it often on screen, but this is an underwhelming card.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Jedi is ready to hit the hay for the night there, I see.
Yeah,
Towards Wiggins and time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Before Jedi goes to sleep, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you very much from all of us here at the CPS Reports. Sorry, Fighting with Friends.
Hey, it's our time.
Blast from the past. Thank you for the continued love and support. And before I make any more mistakes, I'm going to wrap it up here. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the fights. We are live tomorrow for 1171. So, please keep an eye out for that. Come say hi, drop a like, and we'll be very happy to see you then. So, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. And we are out of here.